Ryan Nemeth submitted a timeline to AEW alleging he was silently fired over a CM Punk confrontation, providing explosive details of CM Punk's tenure within All Elite Wrestling and also alleging that AEW HR did nothing about his concerns. We got the ratings for Saturday's edition of AEW Collision as well as AEW Rampage. WWE reportedly are preparing for WrestleMania 41 without The Rock, and TNA goes big as they announce two big arenas for 2025 pay-per-view events. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling, and certainly a major story when it comes to this, providing more insight, more details on CM Punk's tenure in All Elite Wrestling, issues behind the scenes, and maybe a lack of action by All Elite Wrestling. Now, some of the aftershock of CM Punk's issues within AEW are still being felt. The newest in the form of a complaint regarding Ryan Nemeth and his exit from AEW earlier this year. Now, Fightful Select revealed they had obtained a complaint sent to numerous executives within All Elite Wrestling back in September, in which Ryan Nemeth outlined a timeline of events that he says highlight abuse, harassment, and threats he faced whilst working in All Elite Wrestling. Note that these are individual claims of Nemeth himself, primarily as outlined in the document sent to numerous AEW executives. Now, the complaint was dated on September 12th and noted that though the abuse stemmed from now WWE superstar Phil Brooks / CM Punk, his real issue was that AEW failed to respond to any of the incidents and was encouraged to cut a promo antagonizing CM Punk. Nemeth includes a timeline which he claims also possesses emails, texts, phone call logs, and other records. Punk is also referred to as a, quote, former AEW talent who also had an undisclosed, i.e. not publicly known, executive/producer/manager title within AEW. On April 16, 2023, Nemeth claims he contacted then AEW legal rep Mega Parek with concerns he'd been targeted by Brooks. Nemeth says that on June 21st, 2023, Brooks did threaten him in an AEW locker room. Nemeth claims that Tony Schiavone, Parek, and the Young Bucks all showed him empathy and says he's assured his relationship with AEW won't be impacted, though it doesn't specify who assured him. Nemeth notes that he was not booked for 2 months after this incident and that Jon Moxley contacted him and said it didn't sit right with him and supported him through the timeline. Nemeth says on July 17, 2023, he contacted Parek to communicate that he was upset AEW had not responded to the June 21 locker room incident and said he'd believed he'd be silently fired. Specifically, he believed that his exclusive paid per appearance deal would be allowed to expire. Nemeth claims he felt he was being punished, but was assured by Parek that speaking up wouldn't impact his job. Fightful Select had reported that the CM Punk confrontation stemmed from a tweet of Nemeth in which he called Punk, quote, literally the softest man alive, end quote, which Nemeth claimed was in character. On August 12th, Nemeth was booked for the first time in 2 months, confirming a story that Fightful Select had reported at the time. Upon arriving to Greensboro for an AEW show, Nemeth was asked to leave. AEW's Pat Buck had originally told Nemeth that there was travel confusion before confirming that Brooks demanded that he be removed from the venue. At the time, Fightful Select spoke to numerous sources in AEW who confirmed this to be the case and mentioned that there were several talent that were being kept off the show. Nemeth says he has an audio recording of some of his interactions that day. Nemeth says he contacted Parek again, pleading for action to be taken. He was flown to the August 16 show. His wording in the document was, quote, ordered to verbally antagonize the world champion, Brooks is an AEW Collision world champion at the time, in a promo in front of the live crowd, taped for AEW programming. Nemeth claims that after speaking to AEW Legal and HR that day, there is no appropriate response to anything in the situation. Mega Parek had abruptly left her role in AEW Legal, and Nemeth was instead dealing with Chris Peck and Margaret Stavley. After Brooks' incident with Jack Perry at All in 2023, Nemeth was asked to speak to outside counsel as they were investigating the situation. Nemeth said that he communicated that he'd been speaking up regarding the pattern of behavior for months and was concerned about being made the fall guy for Brooks' behavior. Those that Fightful spoke to said the conversation was more to determine the course of action moving forward with Brooks in AEW as opposed to rectifying issues between Nemeth, Brooks, and AEW. Nemeth says he's told that his contract will not be left to expire while continuing to communicate his concerns of such. Nemeth worked for AEW for the final time on November 18, 2023, with Brooks returning to WWE later that week. He claims that he believed Khan and AEW hold him responsible for having to fire Brooks and leading to his WWE return. Nemeth's contract expired in March of 2024. He says that Sanjay Dutt had made repeated creative pitches that went ignored for him. After the completion of the outlined timeline, Nemeth says that AEW legal rep Chris Peck communicated a settlement interest that would equal approximately 3 years of his salary, dependent on signing an NDA on the matter. Nemeth's document says he was appreciative of the offer and wanted to discuss it, but his legal counsel that the offer said that was no longer an option. Nemeth's document also claims that Peck told him he'd be, quote, be placed in an antagonistic position to Mega if things ever escalated to arbitration, end quotes. But Nemeth claimed to always have a positive and respectful working relationship with Parekh. Nemeth has also claimed that Peck threatened to sue him in response to sending the aforementioned timeline. Nemeth said that he's met with mental health professionals over the matter and is seeking policy change and the financial consideration that was discussed. He stated that he felt the AEW roster was full of amazing people who deserved to be in a safe environment and didn't necessarily believe Brooks was the catalyst for the contrary, as he thinks it would likely be someone else. He claimed that specifically those concerns fell on deaf ears to Chris Peck and AEW, and that others have communicated those issues to Peck. The document noted that AEW Legal and HR received the timeline, but not Peck himself, as things had reached a stone wall with him. He also said that Mega Parekh, the Young Bucks, and Jon Moxley were helpful during the situation. Now, Fightful have been told that Nemeth did speak to Tony Khan and others in AEW months ago, and that Khan had entertained the idea of Nemeth returning to AEW. However, Nemeth didn't wish to do so. Now, that's certainly a massive story, and we're yet to see more of the fallout of this. But what are your thoughts on all of this? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Now let's talk about the ratings for AEW, particularly not good last weekend. After a week off due to the Full Gear pay-per-view taking place on Saturday, November 23rd, AEW Collision returned on November 30 to an afternoon time slot of 4 p.m. Eastern. However, that didn't stop the company from loading up the show with high-profile matches, including 3 Continental Classic matches, an appearance from CMLL legend Mystico, and Hangman Page getting a measure of revenge on Wheeler Yuta following the events of Full Gear and the Thanksgiving Eve episode of AEW Dynamite. With all that said, the preemption proved to be a real detriment for AEW, as the November 30 episode of Collision only averaged a total of 144,000 viewers according to WrestleNomics. This is a massive 60% drop from the previous episode on November 16, which averaged 356,000 viewers in its regular time slot. Not only does this figure make the November 30 episode the least viewed episode of Collision that was preempted, it's also the lowest average viewership for any episode of Collision since the show started in June 2023. The same can be said for the key 18 to 49 demographic number, as the show earned a 0.03, a huge 73% drop from 2 weeks earlier, and beats the previous record of the lowest 18 to 49 demo number in Collision history that was originally set by the September 6, 2024 episode that earned a 0.04, going head-to-head with SmackDown's final episode on Fox. According to Programming Insider, Collision ranked in 38th place when it comes to the day of the programs that aired on cable for November 30, which AEW will be hoping to change on December 7 when the show airs live in its regular time slot. But of course, it will have to contend with the fact that Collision will be going head-to-head with NXT Deadline Premium Live event. Now, AEW Rampage as well, we've also got details on this, and again, it's not good numbers. WrestleNomics has the viewership information for this past weekend's preempted edition of AEW Rampage. Last week's show was moved to Saturday, November 30, aired following AEW Collision. Last week's show averaged 126,000 viewers. Viewership dropped 49% from the previous week's show, which averaged 249,000 viewers. Ratings were also down in the key demographic. AEW Rampage drew an average rating of a 0.03, the same as AEW Collision. That is down, though, from the rating of a 0.09 the previous week. Per WrestleNomics, this was the lowest average viewing audience and key demo rating in Rampage's TV history, surpassing the previous low of 172,000 and also a 0.05 rating for the November 1st, 2024 episode. In terms of the quarter-hour ratings for both shows, you can see them right there, and certainly there are big, significant drops at certain points, with AEW Collision actually having at one point just 109,000 viewers tuning in and just 27,000 for that third quarter hour. When it comes to the key demographic, once again, just 26,000 for the final quarter hour before it moved over to AEW Rampage. Now, The Rock and WrestleMania. Well, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, WWE is preparing for WrestleMania without The Rock. Now, on Monday's WWE post-show, on Raw post-show on Fightful with Sean Ross Sapp and Ibo, Sapp noted that he doesn't believe The Rock will be working WrestleMania based on things he'd heard. Dr. Chris Featherstone also noted that creative was operating as if he wouldn't be working the event, which Fightful has also heard is true. Dave Meltzer had stated a while back that The Rock had informed WWE that he wouldn't be available, to which The Rock posted on Instagram to not believe that shit. At the time, people in WWE pushed back on that, but numerous confirmed that there are creative plans being put in motion on the assumption that The Rock will not be working WrestleMania. This is with the realistic notion that with The Rock, anything is possible and subject to change, much like Bad Blood. WWE sources told Fightful that The Rock's Bad Blood appearance was simply to get him on screen and didn't have a major direction or plot point that they were furthering. While they knew The Rock appearing would be a possibility, they found out for sure that week, which is why the Drew McIntyre vs CM Punk Hell in a Cell match opened the PLE. The Rock was around all day and pulled up in plain view in his pickup truck before the show. The Rock just finished filming the live-action Moana, which will be subject to reshoots in 2026. Fightful Select is told that Cody Rhodes and The Rock filmed something at the Moana premiere that may or may not end up seeing the light of day, but the context on that was not provided. The Rock referred to Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins and Nick Khan as WWE family in the recent Moana promotional interview. Anyone pretending that anyone else reported The Rock is 100% out of WrestleMania isn't being genuine, and nobody would supply that information knowing The Rock. And finally, some big news here when it comes to TNA Wrestling, because TNA Wrestling is making a bold move in 2025, stepping into bigger arenas for its marquee pay-per-view events, Rebellion and Slammiversary. The promotion confirmed the news yesterday, revealing that Rebellion will emanate from Los Angeles' Galen Center on April 27, while Slammiversary will light up the UBS Arena in New York on July 20. These venues mark a significant step for TNA, showcasing their ambition to deliver blockbuster events in some of the country's most iconic cities in some big arenas. Now, this was a press release that TNA eventually released. Now, the Rebellion pay-per-view, as I mentioned, will be Sunday, April 27, originating from the Galen Center on the campus of the University of Southern California. Slammiversary will take place at the UBS Arena in Belmont Park, New York. These are arenas that WWE and AEW have run in the past, and certainly it'll be interesting to see if TNA can get some big audiences. They have been able to get some big capacities this year. There certainly would be a step up. So do you think it's possible that they could sell out or fill these arenas? Let me know your thoughts, your reaction to it in the comment section below. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.